Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when them cook the soup or plasas where them like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program wey we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the voice of the voiceless.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when them cook the soup or plasas where them like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program wey we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the voice of the voiceless.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when them cook the soup or plasas where them like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program wey we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the voice of the voiceless.
Good morning to another beautiful edition of a program where we call Correct Right on we are on YouTube and on Facebook. Today we don't come for a look at the different issues them we don't come out of the front pages them of the different newspaper them inside the country, and after which we go get we guess them we go actually come and analyze the issues them we the newspaper has for the right based on how they see them. So we actually they go to the issue them the paper them and begin for look at the different paper they're waiting and don't come up with. We cover the first paper inside the program today. We now the public review. The public review say ECSL approves Samura Kamara and President Bio. You as well get Apex Bank manager embezzle over 1 billion loans, and slash president update CPJ on safety and security of journalists in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone embark on universal health and preparedness review. This is another story for you inside this edition of the Public Review. The next paper where we get inside the program, now the AZ newspaper. The AZ newspaper say SLPP turns Freetown green. SLPP turns Freetown green. Now the first banner headline we didn't get. And you get Victor Full Blast and it's Baikroma for tribal incitement. You as well get putting 30% quota in context. Lands Commissioner General sensitizes women on sectoral rights. And government of Sierra Leone sign aid memoir with MCC. International partners bolster PPRC ahead of June 24th elections. This another story for you inside this edition of the AZ newspaper. The next paper this morning, now the Premier News newspaper. The Premier News get this banner headline where they say only 33.5% of Bill's promises completely fulfilled. Then they quote IGR. You as well get Sierra Leone record reduction in corruption, prevalence, and the quote Afro Barometer. And FTL observes World Day for Safety and Health at Work. Then you get SLPP president accepts former C4C MP. This another story there for you inside this edition of the Premier News. Alright, let me just get a short break. I get a call from the PDP, we interviewed yesterday, so I don't know why. So please just pardon me, let's just talk to them quickly. Alright, I feel maybe a mistake or we get an issue to say good night for them because we interviewed yesterday. It was nice for them we are waiting A1 for say. Anyway, so let me go to the next paper where we get inside the program this morning. We now the Independent Observer newspaper. The Independent Observer newspaper say political alliance or politics of betrayal in Sierra Leone. ACC sensitizes beneficiaries of the social safety net projects in Bombali, Tonkolili, Koinadugu, and Falaba district. And Honorable Alusain Kene deserves not it but accolade from the Gurahu Tonkia people. This another story for you inside this edition of the Independent Observer newspaper. Provincial time, now the next peak. We say ECSL, okay, Samuel Kamara presidential bid. You as well get big boost to health sector. Ultra modern Kalimat Shahada Hospital opens in McKinney. And President Bio hears on CDF payments. Freetown Terminal marks World Safety Day. And this another story there for you inside this edition of the Provincial Times newspaper. But as well, they go to the next paper for this morning. We now the Salon Times newspaper. The Salon Times newspaper say things are tough, but better days are ahead. Bio tells SLPP supporters. And Dr. Alfred Seawright tours Jala University Fish Farm Facility. An opinion, what does the future hold for Sierra Leone? This another story for you inside this edition of the Salon Times. The next paper, now the Calabash newspaper, will say, on May Day, Kobe Walker says Finance Act 2023 has debilitating effect on businesses in Sierra Leone. And you as well get Arise IIPs train network to unlock Sierra Leone's economic potential. And you get Oracle, Dr. Reverend Lucy Natasha prays for Sierra Leone 62nd independent anniversary. You as well get APC Alpha Khan and others, and other heavyweight opposition politicians cross over to the SLPP. This another story for you inside the Calabash newspaper. Of course, you get as a Ghana support from jubilant Freetonians, Gento unveils deputy mayor running mate on ECSL nomination day. The next paper na the Night Watch newspaper. The Night Watch newspaper say Parliament in state thefts. Bills last chance. Mampa mines high port rail facilities. And APC jubilates. Labour Congress president frowns at an influx of foreigners. This another story for you inside this edition of the Night Watch. Next paper where we get inside the program this morning, now the Standard Times newspaper, we say SLRSA in Lebanese pockets. 15 years auction period. Jala lecturer detained, fake representation. This another story for you inside this edition of the Standard Times newspaper. Of course, I get one small one where they say Freetown goes red. Dr. Samura assures supporters of victory. The next paper, now the C for the media. We say as MPs demand price for their pound of flesh, citizen lambast passing of Unfair Welfare Act. Finance Act 2023 will cause tax pain and economic carnage ahead. KKY disappointingly deepens third force disintegration before our eyes. This another story for you inside the C for the newspaper for this morning. Well, all the paper and this we actually get inside the program this morning. And of course, we can get with guests now for we see our best. Well, we can discuss the issues there. But first, let me take a break. Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the voice of the voiceless.
All right, welcome back. We actually don't get one of the guests we don't join me inside the program this morning for we discuss the issues them we don't come out of the different newspaper them. And in name na Alphonsus Bani, we the na in the executive secretary for the Human Rights Defenders Network. Well, they don't join me inside the program this morning. Follow we discuss issue them like always. Thank you for you join me even with your busy schedule, Alphonsus.
Yeah, thank you and good morning.
All right. And we can look at the different paper them inside the program this morning. And I will basically start with paper we ask a general question them, on waiting, I'll start with this one. This one get two issues them we go get for handle inside the program this morning. This now the Salon Times. Salon Times newspaper get one question where I very much get interest on. He say this na opinion from the person, but I will put them again the way how they ask him. He say, what does the future hold for Sierra Leone? This na a general question where we go look for your opinion on that. What's in the future hold for the people of Sierra Leone, Alphonsus?
Well, to me, from my own point of view, and personally, the future for Sierra Leone, I think we look towards a better Sierra Leone in the near future.
Okay.
A better Sierra Leone in the near future.
Okay.
Where everybody will respect rights, everybody will see, we get for witness a situation where the two political parties therefore respect each other, they embrace themselves as a unified or a single unit of this nation. Now that vision and that future they are see for Sierra Leone.
But how that possible right now, taking into consideration the kind of the kind of tension and all where they are around this particular election, how that's possible?
Well, because we are talking about the future, so we are not talking about now. But the steps they will take, we all know the collectively, the actions they will take collectively will lead you towards that one day. And I think if this current government continue after the June 24, 2023 election, then they continue with their flagship program with education. The more people are educated, whether
sorry, let just come inside quickly. Because of the way how we hold the phone, we know they see you fine.
Hello?
Yes, fine. If you maintain the position, then we can able to get you fine. Go ahead. Sorry,
right. Now, what I say is, education is one of the key parameters for a country in growth. And not necessarily when you talk about education, all man forget college degree. But at least you're able to read and write. And when you're able to read and write, it gives the opportunity for get an informed judgment and for decide on issues where you will get a well-balanced knowledge of. So with the growing trend of education, where it don't become like compulsory now for even beginning for go school. So whether you know how to put it begin at school, it don't become a crime. The current government win the elections, then continue the flagship program. If there's any change, would they encourage any government to come for pay emphasis on education? Because the more we educate, the more we get reasonable educated people, where they think reasonably, it they change the perception, it they help for shape with mental thinking and the way we look at things and the way they perceive things. If we not get that any form of education, the brother, no matter what, it still gets a ripple effect towards the future growth as a nation.
All right. So we still there with this paper because it gets another banner headline where it puts a very big one where it say things are tough, but better days ahead. President Bio tells SLPP supporters. In other words, yes, still in Tranga right now. But I know say things get for really look fine tomorrow.
Well, of course, Daniel from the political angle where he address supporters there. I go look at it from an angle where maybe not get anything for those politics, but looking at the current situation and the global dynamics. From that basis, we talk say things are tough now, but they go better tomorrow. And they come from the global dynamics. Everywhere in the world, even in the civilized, the well-developed countries, things are very challenging. And with the global economy as they go, with the Ukraine war and other the post-COVID issue, with the see contraction in the global economy. And so if everything goes well, where it talks say now it's younger about by sometime tomorrow or the future will look better, would they anticipate say if all goes well, the war done now Ukraine, Russia and Ukraine then leave back amicably, then begin continue, trade begin continue, business begin continue, with the belief say from that global angle, things again for change.
Yeah,
Because
but
we are almost a donor-driven country.
Yes.
And so if you want to support you, there's a challenge, then automatically you will even receive. You get more challenge.
But even with the global challenge, even with the global crisis, like every other term, donor, then they still continuously they pour money inside the country.
Yeah, but you know, I can remember when we also get the economic crisis, what they call at that time. I remember where I go na village na Sanda when the former president when they talk about the global issue. So one me auntie they go tell me, but what are the global issue about global issue? What is long can cause problem in this country, man? So even at the village, when they talk about people they think say that global issue like na individual and na somebody. And so now the same thing now at the try for translate to win. The way how we go for look at how they manage the resources and how they relate to itself. One thing, the only way where they feel impacts now where you don't see somebody where they share your problem or they share your challenge, they get the pain more. So a situation where government, even though the global issue is changa, but even at your level now, if the government they also try to associate itself with the people then go get some comfort, even though it's painful, then go get comfort, then go hope say
things will go better. The government associate themselves with the people?
Well, when I talk about government, I talk about both the executive and the legislature. The legislative, the executive, how they go find way for pushing, for understand the economic situation of the country of the people there, so that they know they bear the brunt of the global challenge. The legislative, the policy they only put will go translate into economic recovery, where they know they affect the layman there. Not only what don't happen at the past parliament where they go increase, then take away their home, packages, their salaries, or one-off benefits, and so that need to demotivate. So if somebody want for beer, if you vote in the modern, you go see that can't happen with parliamentarian. If they get the pain more, it become that it make that person become desperate. So now that type of talk say when the government, that is both the executive and the legislative, they associate themselves with the people, even though they challenge them, they get consolation.
Okay, so let me look at this. You know, they say married with the streets now from the bachelor's hill. You know, even before the COVID came inside, even before the global, crisis where we face right now, especially with the Ukraine and Russian war, where nobody can hide from. 2 years of the BO administration, a lot of things have been done. They happen. We're not to go the right direction. For example, na then and there you see posted like Kande Koleyum Kela, for example, where being seriously done the tell we about how the situation really like inside the country. Where in fact then 10 and then be try for analyze the different areas them, how the prices them talek na the market and other things them. So all of them things that we don't see the pain at the economy even before this time. Why not only now the government they continuously talk about Ukraine and Russia?
Well, another step into government, and I think the government been do some miscalculation in terms of economic management or fiscal discipline. We all been a cry about the wage bill where they go up, we don't also translate into the economic situation of the country, where enough fear at all. And it just like where you get cripple picking, the picking of the worker. You try for men a worker, you go and broke your foot. So now the Sierra Leone economy, the economy be don't challenge, even when the BO government come into power. The economy don't challenge when even in the first 2 years or 3 years. Then we can insight into the coronavirus. So it just come like how you talk to you get cripple picking. You try for men and worker there foot, you can't broke your foot, you go in the try for men. Now like we own situation.
Okay.
The team be done bad off, corona come. It just add by the bad more and more. So now as they come out from corona, what thing we need for do as Sierra Leonean and what thing government need for do for reshape the economy, for translate the people their lives into meaningful situation like this country. And which kind of fiscal policies the way government they put in terms of wage bill control, in terms of how government they expend resources, state resources. All them things then get for recalibrate the strategy and the approach, so that at the end of the day, we realize what in the coming at the country. Even on the areas of mining concession.
All right.
With mining, the agreement during the sign, then concession they always in the give. All them get for look at how then concession they then let go. How it also translates to the livelihoods of the citizens of the country. So everything boils on how government they develop in policy and how they implement the policy then in terms of economic growth.
All right, that's good. So now we come with inside with other guests quickly. We don't join me inside the program. In name Oswald Ansels. We basically don't join inside the program. He get this he get this kind of Pan-African way of looking at certain issues then. And a person this way a very good writer. A person this way as well been on a state house for at some point, and it don't deal with the media in terms of in writing and all the other things then. So now we welcome Oswald Ansins inside the program. Good morning and welcome, sir.
Yeah, good Nakusha, all man.
Okay, so we've been just to talk about, we will just carry go inside the discussion straight off. We've been to talk about the issue of the economy. For example, the Salon Times newspaper say things are tough, but better days ahead. This now according to President Bill. What do you make up of this and the economy? Because all the thing the president be try for say yesterday, okay, we do well with the economy, but just that now the Ukraine and Russia war and then the COVID and all of them things and they. But I be just to ask Alphonsus Bani say 2 years before the COVID and the Ukraine war, the economy people don't begin to complain. The economy be don't they go the kind of way out people not be they understand. So the question is, what do you think about the way how this government don't handle the economy before and during this crisis?
Show me from where you don't get sense. Show me one economist when a salon man, with the work na salon. We don't do economics theory. We what they call peer review. They don't review and they don't say this one is to be economics. I don't apply them like third world country or an African country. Show me one name what kind of you mind readily. The reality is that they want them way what they call economists within a finance ministry, development ministry. I don't think they know the stuff enough. They may have doctorate degrees. They may have worked even in the United Nations, but they don't know enough for be able to apply them. That is at the core of our problem. Now, bookman them. Then be able to assimilate, regurgitate information, come talk some theory, but we fool man them, gullible masses, mal-educated people, but they don't know. And that is obvious. What do I mean? Not do a parallel there. You know, they tell me, say, I sabi play football. I get doctorate degree by football, but Brana for go score goal. You not score goal, you know they win game. That is our problem. We don't merely have a problem of economics in this country. We have a psychic problem.
What's in mean psychic problem?
The way we think in superstitious terms. We not think rationally as a people. At all levels. You will see man get PhD, what trouble go meet that one person might go meet you. Or they go to one pastor, they don't hold me hand under water, they don't underground or how they call it mami water. And they think rationally about the problem, and that goes across. So many politicians.
So since you talk about that one day, I listened to the bank governor the other day, the way they talk about the kind crisis where we dey inside now the economy. They say the way how the economy they right now pass God help we.
Now you don't underline what you talk. You know, the very thinking say we not think rationally for solve a problem. We they go to church, we they go to mosque, we they go to juju man. That's not part of the main part of the problem. Another part of the problem, we got a psychological problem. Salomon, what I've been talking the last time will interview me, we not to think in terms of how to solve your own problem. We not get that confidence therefore do the thinking for focus on the diagnosis of the problem and the solution. We actually almost subconsciously, instinctively would they look for the World Bank or IMF or can't tell we what him for do. Then we have a sociological problem. With sociological problem, man, man and woman in a house. Then so most time they're not even married. They get two pikin. Then they struggle for feed them two pikin, and they struggle for get medicine and school for them. Then go born six pikin. So that sociological problem, during the 5 years where President Bio don't kind of power, you don't maybe add 1 million more people that we bought way for feed. So we don't get that sociological problem the way we must address urgently. There is a discordance between with population growth and with productivity. Then we have this laziness, especially among the intellectuals. We not the right, we not the research, and then we go sit down in the office, they idle with time.
So it's not. You talk about that one day. Basically, they invite Barney again for coming inside, and I need to get to know two opinion on this. We don't talk about the PhD holders them, but we think about the laziness in doing things. Most of them just sit down idly in the office, not to do anything. For example, I've been to study the dollar as against the euro. At one point, you see the dollar overtake the euro. So what then do? Then call together the technocrat them, the finance people them, the economists them. Then see how they can strategize for make sure say they take the position again. And as we talk, so in as much as not to better, but the euro don't overtake the dollar again. But in the country, we know they think of that they go at all. Every other day, then they talk about Ukraine and Russia. For example, Salon and Guinea. Before this term, where you get 10,000 Salon money, you go to Guinea, then you will give 12 or 15,000 Guinean franc. Yeah, when means say we money been get weight past them. But as we talk to right now, when you get 10,000 Salon money, then it give like 3,800 Guinea franc. When means say we don't depreciate bad one to the Guinea money, but we know I know ever hear outside people they talk about how we for able for recover we position again, like how the European do against the American. Barney, what do you think of that one day? Taking into consideration, outside we money there right now because in as much as the money don't go down to Guinea, but at the same time we are the second weakest currency in Africa.
Yeah, probably. I go and talk say if we mention Guinea, I just want to understand say we get to know from the standpoint where Guinea, the economy don't strong or don't grow as against Sierra Leone. If they check within the sub-region for gold, we they produce more gold. But if you check Guinea, now the largest exporter of gold than Sierra Leone, what they even minor. That they tell you about the issue of smuggling. Go the smuggle with things enough for go pass and to Guinea. And secondly, Guinea, this new issue of how they call about this reduction of this carbon business when they go into clean energy. Guinea right now then gets some minerals and we almost now the largest deposits in the whole world. We unman the fed for her now. Whether the value now the world market it's so high. So that already help Guinea for manage the economy and control the resources in terms of exportation. We want to get now for even export. And even the exports, even the damn money they export, when they can pass through the government channel for exports, the percentage what they get even when they don't go sell is so minimal. They don't get anything where they will talk say this is a benefit to what they get. The majority aspect or thing that what they get in terms of resources now what in NRA they collect. Parallel local tax and everything. So from that angle, I think say we get to look at how they build up with export base. Now go back first, we begin talk about how we money the loans go appreciate the dollar. That's one side of that. The other thing is, and I happy a big brother they talk about something about rational thinking. Even though we get doctorate, PhDs, economists, whatever the kind put out, the threat we get alongside that way we know they think rationally now because we're not patriotic and we're not nationalistic. If you look at President Bio in closing statement at Parliament, paragraph 10, it makes reference of the national pledge. My brother, they talk to as we talk to right now. That national pledge, all politicians, including the president, he says we talk as soon as Parliament with the closed Parliament. And then at the head, they know the practice. All what would they think of in Sierra Leone, not of the country first. Now me, myself, and my party. And so because they think that it don't support the idea of big brother talks, you know they think rationally. Because if they think for generations, we not get generational thinkers. That make as a supporter for Tosi, we not they think rationally.
Okay. Because
you get generational thinkers, you are planning for the future, not for today. But what would they see with politicians then? They are thinking more for themselves. And they give practical example. Now take we Constitution of Sierra Leone, the 1991 Constitution. Former president spent a lot of money. We get 80-man committee for go all over this country. For go review that constitution. All man put in voice, then compile that reporting, then present them. The former president put in cabinet, they almost reject all the recommendations then. And that what he said. They think about the party, the APC. SLPP come, then say they begin pick, then take what suit them. And then they favoralize the constitution, not for APC, not for SLPP. Now for Sierra Leone, and the one they always contribute for give contribution to that constitution. Now people of this country say there is no reason where APC or SLPP for cherry pick the will and the voice of the people of this country.
All right. So
because it is support what brother they talk about, will not get rational thinking.
Okay.
And the constitution now for future generations.
Like out Oswald inside again. Oswald are still there with the issue of the economy and that of the Guinea currency and the Salon currency compared to the competition within the or day between the dollar and that of the euro. What do you make up of this?
Productivity. You know they make economy in the abstract. You sit on the finance ministry, you sit on the development ministry, you look at figures. No, you have to produce. What in my brother talk, me been work in the NRA at senior management for 8 years. I know say about 56 porous points a day between like for going to Liberia, for going to Guinea, with people in the smuggle. And then they smuggle with impunity. You were surprised where you go Nana Balamoya for going inside Guinea. You ought to see a diamond in the smuggle. Huge 16-trailer truck, then the smuggle Gary per mine. They go inside Guinea. So ought to say now all that they pass the bush, and we call them technical smuggling in the NRA. So we economy has to be interconnected with other factors, the security of the country, the whole civic education of the people. If we are not patriotic, if we're easy to betray our country, sell ourselves for cheap, then that is going to affect our economy. Other people, other countries that have grown from nothing, like Singapore, a barren piece of rock in the 1960s, but in the 1990s, they were first class country, developed country from poor country, GDP per capita of about $500 to about $60,000 within just about 30 years period. They had no natural resource to export. The resource where they harness not a human resource. But we they talk theory of that, like we own president. That theory, they talk about human capacity development. It has to be holistic. It has to be interconnected. When we talk about, yes, it's important for us, especially for us, forget diamond and gold and bauxite and rutile for export. But the reality, again, I worked in the NRA, so I have some insight into these issues. It's about 3% of our diamond exports that come to us as a country. But out of that 3% we're supposed to get of diamond exports, can you imagine 3% of our diamond exports is what comes to us as a country as revenue? But even that, again, I worked at State House for 6 years. I don't go not in diamond mining company. We not get the capacity for monitor, for know whether the diamond mining company, if they tell we say now $100 million they don't export, we not know for sure. We have no capacity. And that's the same thing for iron ore, our rutile, our bauxite. We do not have the capacity to monitor. We do not bother about putting, we have mines monitoring officers, just like we marine resource them. We get people that want to go monitor whether they fish them, whether they take billions, literally billions of dollars, then we they get from we marine resources. We they joke with them and they can't default it. Because even when we put monitoring officer then we don't make sure they're the most honest people. But then this dovetails down to the people themselves. The ordinary man with the Allah, think tranga, the ground try. Now they victimize yourself because they blindly they support political parties, individuals, without asking them to tell you how they are managing the economy. You they go put somebody where now been permanent secretary yesterday in thief millions of dollars. In thief, you see us all over. In salary, now go make him buy one bicycle. But you get 6 hosts them. $2 million hosts, then get all over freedom. Then you go make a minister. You go make a parliamentarian. What do you expect? So the things, the problem, Nemega say, it's not just an economics problem. Sierra Leone is an epitome of a disgraceful paradox. That means that we are one of the most shameful countries in the world, where we get enough natural resources, gold, diamond, these fisheries, but yet with people them now among the poorest country in the world for the past 50 years. That should not be if we do not solve this psychological, sociological problem. That is the problem, not an economic problem.
Okay, so since we did talk about the problem, let me move to this. I don't know if the problem is as well there in issues there like this. The AZ newspaper say SLPP turns Freetown green. Victor Fo blast Ernest Baikroma for tribal incitement. Politicians them, we don't see them days, they don't do a lot of cross carpeting, big politician, as people could call them, Victor Fo Alpha Khan, Modre Kaikai, the C4C and other people, them all over they do transfer from one party to another. What do you make up of this, Alphonsus? This again a part of the problem or a part of the solution?
Well, I'm going to say as a part of a problem, because in the first place, everybody get the rights for associate and not for associates. So if you associate with one party this way, probably you want to go to another party. That's now your rights. Now you get for exercise your freedom. I think the context we for look at now the political atmosphere we don't create. That when they in governance, una party a poor, and at this with people that know they understand. Now this we don't know they understand. When a political party come out in governance, automatically all in party executive member, everything like all man the poor. So which means in the time of we say, then they only get money and make money when they in governance. So if somebody the poor, they hard up, if they go declare, go get what you want forget. Wait till we nine they demean the process of freedom of association. And you can then at times you don't need for even come off like from SLPP, you go to APC, or from APC come to SLPP. You can see the inside APC, but you decide say the policy of APC, the conduct of APC not convince you. So when time come for vote, you know they vote for them, you they vote for the SLPP. You can then say SLPP again, the policy of SLPP, the objective of SLPP, you know they see and say it convince you. Time come for vote, if they vote for a candidate within the APC. That did happen. It happened even civilized way. They happen in modern democracies. You get people in back way independent, where not in any party, but based on how the party they behave or the policy they put, they make they associate themselves and vote for them. So what you mean know is that now where we don't the politicians don't bring come out to the public say we want to make money now for kind of governance. Now only Sierra Leone, they come out from private sector. You can't now the government, the public sector, you can't make money. In other countries, they come out from the public sector. You go private sector, now they make money. But here now the reverse. The private sector not only they make money, now we go in governance, now they make money turn to billions. But I'm talking now, you get people in there, what they have money, even when they pay them as minister or as a permanent secretary or as even parliamentarian. That money not do or sufficient enough for make a bill even one house. But that man they build 2-3 houses, and yet we just celebrate them. Hey, that man a better man. Hey, that man a good man. They know where people then come on the power like now today, SLPP is in governance. Not say by tomorrow or next election, SLPP lost the election. Then we get a new party come into power. Then they begin to draw down people and they say, SCC say, when they come, we don't rule for corruption. Then the people, the SLPP supporters, they can now say, no, this are witch hunts, now political intimidation, now political witch hunt. They are not, they not bring come SLPP for saying that SLPP don't chief. Now, individual and they inside that party or this government right now, where will be entrusted with resources, where we feel say they don't misappropriate and use the misuse state resources, therefore hold them accountable. So until we remove politics from corruption, this country no go ever go before. And that make the politicians they don't take winner as big fool them. So they move from one party to another, then go there, reach themselves, then can't sit down.
All right.
So we celebrate them.
Oswald, what do you make up of this?
Almost regularly in our social media, and where I can write some article them, and where they go on radio, on TV. Now, one thing I can call the APC versus SLPP politics, I call them collective madness. The politics who they play in a salon, who don't they play for the past 40 years, it look like say all man craze. The president them or the parliamentarian them, those people then craze.
Why?
No,
What happened? Why you say so?
because the essence of democracy. Why you don't make democracy for? Now for get the best political parties, get the best leaders, get the best ideas for manage your resources than what you get in your country, so your life will improve. Better food, better housing, better education, better jobs. But we, the practice with politics, now the reverse. The more we practice, the more we make energy, SLPP, APC, gonna treat full, they treat red, green. Now the more we the poor. You're not going to do something for making that you better, then you the poor, then you continue for do the same thing. It's not madness. You know, and I feel bad about them. Now this madness we don't depend. We don't depend this madness, then we'll go up on war. Nasty war. Next thing we don't forget. Look, you go give soldier man and policeman gun today. go jump and then youth them, and arrest them. The policeman, if don't forget, say, during the war, 10-year-old about the whole gone. Now policeman and they run away, come out before him. The people need to be awakened. Then we need for educate them that this then crazy politics, blind politics, only they injure themselves. If you na mommy, if you na papa, you get picking, you know say now you picking in poor one, then you deeper. And the time when we be young, the 1960s, 1970s, I done university in 1978. 1979, I done January, I don't go Liberia. I get work. When you show you degree paper, then they fight for you job. You go Nigeria, quick, I don't get job. It was better for us in those days. We can lead. Other people then go America, they go turn professor. It was easy for us. But for now, for una when a young man and young picking them, you're not able to run away. Almost all countries of the world they face economic hardships. So the craze when you depend, SIPP, APC, the Allah like so you craze, you now go fed for making them put tough laws against corruption. The law were there against corruption now, not joke business. In fact, the law were there against corruption ought to for stop corruption, now for encourage more corruption. The law say when them go take person in a court, say don't thief, the court for finance 50 million leons, all leons. And the judge can put on a prison for 5 years. Then he go there for 5 years, take public office. So the person go don't thief 10 billion leons or 2 billion leons even. Then say na 50 million, then they go fine them. They go say, okay, now I go give the judge some money under the table. The judge send and go prison. He go pay the fine. So the law against corruption now for encourage corruption, also for discourage corruption. Now another law would have put 2009, where I write about 2009 would have put on that time, and then the NRA may have been head of public affairs and tax education at the National Revenue Authority. Then call them unexplained wealth. What do you mean? You can see somebody in O's. You say, who not gonna host it? Hey, then say buy Jumbla and then get the O's. Then you get the person go corrupt, anti-corruption. Buy Jumbla, who say come out money for building house? Now $500 per month you work. Who say come out money for build $500,000 house? Buy Jumbla, get for prove to NRSA or SEC. And the money legitimately. You know that you say they do business too. If also all the NRA receipts, if also all the import-export receipts, if you're not able for show that the law for Hola, then call them unexplained wealth. 2009, then Parliament making a law where APC didn't get the majority in the Parliament. Now law still there in the law books.
But that law not effective at all.
Because you bang, then they make law you not know about even when you didn't have the media. But shows in the brother self that we know that fully aware of no unexplained law. I'm not aware of a single person who not law they don't bet. Then the people, then the job that treat now, I don't think it's not crazy with it. APC, SMBB, the same thief man then we don't build house you. They say I'm also you not know. You see all around. Nobody not the build house that treat whether young man.
So don't they unexplained wealth then they now most people they see as blessing for the politician. That's why they hail them. Well, we don't come
to then they hail that.
We actually don't come to the end of the program because of time. And we got 6 more minutes. This 6 more minutes, I want for you.
You not talk about education yet, too.
Well, Now because okay, how do you call them? Banibi don't begin pass another area there. Let I just get your opinion. What do you think about the education system and what do we feel for do for improve on that?
Well, I think President Bill B plus for in free education.
That's a very good mark in a passing.
I remove the quality. It does not deserve to be called free quality education. Again, the B plus for in free education because you don't increase the numbers. Maybe about 1 million people they don't put them in school. We otherwise them for bother send them school.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get free eats, about 600,000 people, then they get free eat. That is a plus. But it is not quality. It cannot be quality when teachers are being poorly paid. Okay, it claims say it don't increase teacher pay on average about 30%, but that 30% cannot get the man to even eat good food. So they compel the teacher to be corrupt because the man cannot even eat for 1 week if he has to depend only on his salary. Then another point, you cannot have quality education except you educate the entire masses, the illiterate, the mal-educated, the Okada rider, the cookie seller, for put value per education. This now one city, it's a disgrace. Sometimes when they write down, I say, hey, how we go sit down by this kind of disgrace? Do you know of any bookstore in the whole of Freetown where you get a general bookstore where you go buy? And I mean, they want the way they put that ground, then I lock you to get out if you go Godwin Street for go find you any book. We don't have a general bookstore. Why don't we have bookstores? Bookstores, because we do not put value to education. So the president is on a good trajectory for talk about education, but education must be holistic. It must be tied to the fight against corruption because education needs a lot of money. The president talking to Parliament. It don't make Milton Magai University, Technical University, Kenema, Eastern Polytechnic, Kono Polytechnic. Look, there's no way when you go get quality equipment and materials that them university then they without a lot of money. And when a few people then they thief the money, when would they allow massive smuggling? We do not have enough money to finance these educational institutions. And also, when you put people into educational institution, technical education, vocational education, what a job wouldn't they come out to? You actually, like, we are breeding more frustration, more disenchantment, more anger for the the next generation. 5 years down the line, where man don't come out technical education, where the factory, where the industry, who side to go get a job. So it must be holistic. We have one of the worst illiteracy levels in the whole world. One of the worst. We had some maybe about some 30 years back a whole literacy programs financed by the German government, and that one just fizzle out like that. It's not just education for primary school, but education all across the board. Maybe somebody go argue me about that. We tertiary, we university, not only then you technical vocational university, then Jala University, Frabe College University, IPAM. Me go safely put, I go hazard and put a figure to it. The quality of education we would give with picking in our university compared to even Ghana and Nigeria, now about 30%. And when you compare to the quality of education with quality universities in a place like America, they get, we are about 5%. A joke with a joke. Look, you cannot go to university to go and get your master's degree and then you read 10 books, 20 books, and so you get your master's degree.
So waiting while we do, I want for right now book a time with you again and tell me whose day we go okay. Saturday or Sunday, 9 p.m. salon time. Who's one of the day we go okay? We'll need for talk about certain things that seriously.
The party, when you ready, the party hold the ground, no retreat, no surrender.
Okay, because I want the time where you go say, this is the time where I want for relax, because on weekend, Saturday or Sunday, we take one of them. Anyone?
Yeah, anyone. Oh, but on Sundays, don't make it in the mornings.
No, in a net, actually, what they talk about, so 9 p.m.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Okay, so at the book now with you, Sunday, cool. 9 p.m.
Okay, so, send the link ahead of time before the Sunday comes.
Okay, so because what we go get for basically do now for make sure say we talk about the Marabio and the Samoa Kamara, waiting the country get ahead of we, with any one of them as president, because it's obvious that not just one of them gets for be president. So we look at what in the country gets for we, and we look at a radical way how you can normally look at things them. So I want to tell you thank you. Alphonsus, what think will be your final submission inside the program?
My final word is that Lord will put the country first. Lord all get time if you're able to understand
that
the
what they
national
right now
pledge
put the
by
country
English.
first. Nothing that they will get conflicting in meaning to people.
Yes, if you're able to understand the national pledge in English, get your brother when they interpret Mende, Limbak, and courses, let them translate the national pledge into local language.
Okay.
Don't understand, because we all take that national pledge, we take a hook, line, sinker. The brother Sierra Leone paradise.
Okay. Also, your last word, if please.
When you say put the country first, that's too abstract. I'm sorry, why to put it in English first. Man is a leadership species. Okay. God make man forget leader at all time. Whether na also on a street or on a school, you can forget leader. If things have to go right in this country, starting with the president and ministers, the bishop, the principals, everybody has to be a leader. The country cannot be put first by the masses on their own, except the leaders. The leaders of this country, some of them, they need to be put on the streets and whipped. Forbid them with Ratlan.
What in do?
Monumental failure. Then they see things they go wrong. Me Pekin. I worked in a Lutheran church one time for about 1.5 years. When I'm in a church, things they go wrong, you they talk. Man, they ain't talker. Not bishop, they go for official. And that's what is happening. You go there, na NRA, things they go wrong. Nobody not they talk. Next thing they go can kill them. That's the problem. At the State House, at the right, fortunately, the president who have been get, former president and that's by Kurman, give me the free license for making I write what you want for right. But where I write the truth, nobody not they back me up. Like the time way Paulo Conte been they go one pull one mad and they will Okada rider. I say they pull them that treat. I say Morgan thing this way they dipper. Now they then about they make extra money in the central business district. Now you can pull one mad, they pull them that treat. Who can nonsense this? Wait, one of the title of my article there, I said they will gather you like trash and sweep you and put you into the dustbin because of this action. And I saw him be them gather APC and put them into the dustbin.
And so when you by then work with that particular government and with the president.
Well, now they cost and some more on a cause, but that's one thing we even get forbearance. I even criticize Shaka Steven, criticize Momo, criticize in self-awareness in published article. He keep me there, and that's like me, oh, and I mean, they ask myself.
What means if you get a free hand for right anything, even when in the pay you back?
Anything. anything. I mean, get it free. And I think some of it he was learning from it also, because there was a time when me and Sam Sise, the agricultural minister, were to the argue on social media and say, Brian, you just talk about we don't win prize, we don't win prize, we don't win this agriculture of the year. The president don't get. I see that agriculture of the year prize where you don't win internationally. Now we go to market back. Thing that the year, potato price don't go up, we don't get more. Well, come out now, though. You have to take 1 month, 2 months, then a sucker and put Professor Monty Jones there. So I think he used to listen to some of the things which I would write. And I think he was happy that there was at least one person where the sycophants were there around where he go tell them what thing they happen and tell them the truth.
All right, thank you very much. I think that is very good for that we actually see how we can take that one day from the next angle where we will get a discussion, because this one very important for any government. I find out say right now when they get more people where they boot leak, they praise the government or they praise the president where even they know say it go the wrong way, and then the president self not they take critics rather they look at them and the way they praise them blindly, where they make they actually succeed in some areas them. So I want to tell you thank you, and we will continue the conversation as time they go, especially on Sunday where we get a time 9 p.m. salon time. Thank you very much, Oswald Ansel. Thank you very much, Alphonsus Bani, for wanna join me inside the program this morning, and a pleasure for getting thanks.
Thank you.
All right, the producer for this program na Elias Abba. We don't produce them two people here, so we join me inside the program today. My name is Sembe Pierre, the freedom fighter. Until we meet again, God bless the country Sierra Leone, where we call we are. Thanks to you who don't view the program, you who don't like, and you who don't share. Until then, I want to say thank you all very, very much. Get yourself a very good day. Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wala now we had, I just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the people, the voice of the voiceless.
Another morning again inside we had.